So the White House, everybody, is proposing new plans to try and quickly fix the US economy. President Biden actually announced a multi-billion-dollar massive spending plan that would greatly help the American people. So this is your fourth stimulus check update in Daily News Report. And we have a lot of good news that I want you to know about the fourth stimulus check. The Biden administration outlined several initiatives today aimed at addressing immediate supply chain challenges and other disruptions affecting the global commerce.
The challenge we need to meet here, and my plan is going to help address, has to do with the supply chain. You hear a lot about the supply chain in the news, but frankly, not a lot of people have a clear understanding, whether they have a PhD or they didn't go to school, about how a supply chain works. It says easy to talk about it. What's the impact on the economy? Let alone how to fix it. It's perfectly understandable because supply chains are incredibly complex. As long as goods and materials are getting where they need to go on time, there's usually no need to worry about the supply chains. But when global disruptions hit, like a pandemic, they can hit supply chains particularly hard. COVID-19 has stretched the global supply chains like never before. And suddenly, when you go to order a pair of sneakers or a bicycle or a Christmas present for the family, you're met with higher prices and long delays where they say they just don't have any at all. The reason for that last year has a lot to do with most companies make their product, how they make their products today. In simple terms, supply chain is just the journey that a product takes to get to your doorstep. Raw materials, plus labor, assembly, shipping, everything it takes to create the finished product. These supply chains are complex. Even products as simple as a pencil can have to use the wood from Brazil, graphite from India, before it comes together at a factory in the United States to get a pencil. It sounds silly, but that's literally how it happens. So if all of a sudden you got COVID crisis in Brazil, you can't get the product because the plant shuts down. That's what's happening. Products like smartphones often bring together parts from France, Italy, chips from the Netherlands, touchscreens from New York State, camera components from Japan, supply chain that crosses dozens of countries. That's just the nature of modern economy, world economy. The global supply chains have helped dramatically bring down the price we pay for things we buy. But it also made us much more reliant on what happens in other parts of the world. So if a factory in Malaysia shuts down due to a COVID outbreak, which they have, it causes a ripple effect that can slow down auto manufacturing in Detroit. Why? They can't get the computer chips they need. It's a climate disaster to close the port in China. It can delay shipment of furniture or clothing, reduce worldwide supply, and driving up prices here in America. And the irony is people have more money now because of the first major piece of legislation like that. You all got checks for $1,400. You got checks for a whole range of things. If you're a mom and you have kids under the age of 7, you get $300 a month. If it's over 7 to 17, you're getting $360 a month. Like wealthy people used to do when they get back tax returns. It changed people's lives. But what happens if there's nothing to buy, you got more money, you compete for it, get it there, it creates a real problem. On the one hand, we're facing new disruptions to our supplies. At the same time, we also experience higher demand for goods because wages are up, as well as people have money in the bank. Because of the strength of our economic recovery, American families have been able to buy more products. But guess what? They're not going out to dinner and lunch and going to local bars because of COVID. So what are they doing? They're staying home, they're ordering online, and they're buying product. So with more people with money buying product, with less product to buy, what happens? The supply chain's the reason. The answer is you guys. I'll get to that in a minute. But what happens? Prices go up. So we got nearly 20% more goods coming into the country than we did before the pandemic.
Several senior officials said the administration will begin work within the next 60 days on the $4 billion worth of construction at coastal ports and waterways. A senior administration told CNBC The plan will also identify and prioritize $3.4 billion in upgrades to facilities that will make international trade more efficient. The official said the administration plans to standardize data sharing requirements for shipping lines, terminal operators, and railroads. Today, President Biden will visit the Port of Baltimore to discuss how the $1 trillion infrastructure bill passed by lawmakers will improve ports and strengthen supply chain. The bipartisan infrastructure bill, which passed the Senate in August but sat idle in the House for months, will finance colossal upgrades to America's roads, bridges, airports, seaports, and rail systems. The bill is actually the single largest federal investment in American history. It includes $17 billion in infrastructure improvements at coastal and waterways. The measure, which Biden has yet to sign into law, includes an additional $110 billion to repair roads, bridges, as well as other major transportation projects all across the country. But when asked about the timing of his investments, a senior administration official said that the work was already underway on some of the projects, while other programs would take anywhere from 45 days to 90 days. The president, in remarks to Democratic supporters, signaled that he will look to remind voters in the months ahead of the infrastructure win. And now there's about 75,000 people that have signed a petition for a $1,400 stimulus check for all Social Security recipients. And the group organizing the push plans to pressure Congress to work on additional payments by the end of the year. The Senior Citizens League, one of the largest nonpartisan senior groups, is asking Congress to send out the $1,400 checks to everyone who received Social Security benefits. Inflation is also adding an undue strain on fixed-income households, and the Senior Citizens League says that this year's benefits hasn't kept up with the rising cost of living. The Senior Citizens League analyst told Newsweek Social Security benefits only raised by 1.3% on average. That's $20. That really eroded the buying power that people had even just 12 months ago. So the organization started the petition at the beginning of October and has since gathered over 75,000 signatures, including about 1,600 in the past week. As it has done in the past, the organization also engaged in a huge mailing campaign to its supporters and is collecting physical signatures as well. Johnson said they hope to have a final count of mail and online signatures by the end of the month, at which point they'll send tallies of constituent support to every member of Congress. The goal is to demonstrate to legislators the level of support for the idea in their districts before the lawmakers leave in December. And also, Congress was able to pass a second round of stimulus checks at the end of the year. The $1.9 trillion stimulus package, included in the $1,400 stimulus checks for many Americans, passed without any Republican support. And additional attempts to put more money into Americans' bank accounts has been growing. The Senior Citizens League also plans to work with legislators to get the idea introduced, even if it means spilling over into next legislative session. Next year, Social Security beneficiaries are set to have their benefits increased by 5.9% for about 70 million Americans. The increase in benefits could hurt the chances of another stimulus check. But analysts say it all depends on what the economy is going. As always, everybody, thank you so much for your support. And if you have any more questions about the fourth stimulus check, leave them in the comments below.